enko stop galamsey no sika no e ho so ebi ekoho owia no ka say one ne yere private account na abamu ne de wo mo set sa account ne say e bia aban pesika bi hyehyehye ni manimu ya no na mo de akoyi free sa account ni individual person or sign ayima aban. All right, Innocent.
Yeah.
Edu Boahen afa de love letter de abani.
Mama menka say you see agro wa manfo ni so kroma I say we don't even need to be discussing some of these things but abanasa because my culture say you know we media no fixate on sensational news, those kind of stuff. As my brand can hear complete nonsense. This is your friend say in summer we need to just trash it, and because in some kind of say nyansa be him, and I doubt say if you know never I'll be very surprised. Because me I think it's one of those diversional your friend say taxes and so forth. Even let's say some now all can no correct.
Yeah.
Negate the fact that monies were stolen from state account. Doesn't negate the fact that he cloned state bank account, transfer money from this account to this account, and at the end of the day, no, we cannot find those monies. Isn't it the fact that he bought estate houses? He paid cash $1 million. Has he been able to tell us where he got those money from? And this is absolute nonsense. You see, we invest too much in emotional politicking. So if you know don't deal with the fact. Sway the whole nation to the emotional line, you will survive. And that's exactly what is happening. At the end of the day, National Signals Bureau and your more finance opposition parties to buy is absolute nonsense. And the opposition party I won't country. Be bold enough and let's see who you give the money to. You understand? Even if you give the money to somebody, even in the NDC, we don't care. All we know is that we stole money. And we want you to account. The other command, financing and that is not your business. You see, we are not living in a banana republic where monies can move from one account to any other account. Let's see the discussion there is a legal framework where monies can go. Baby, as a sika kwane de asa wode ye anything outside your mandate or your mind sika kwa ya we for and now say you have willfully caused financial loss to the state, and this guy has foolishly caused financial loss to the state. All that is doing is to implicate a lot of people, because the very moment he's able to rope in NDC, communicators, you know, me say man, then we balance the equation. Then the focus will move from BOAHEN, then some more crime opposition. This is absolute rubbish that nobody should even consider. The questions I was is what we need to. Monies were given to you as director of National Signals Bureau. Monies, you cloned and created a separate account bearing the same name. The criminal intent alone can land you in jail. Because you're not supposed to do that. Then the gentleman went ahead to transfer money from this account to this account. What is his explanation? Says state in here is emergency or what state account, they will transfer from You see, we don't need to give oxygen of publicity to some of this nonsense. See, yes, I need party seminar. Me say on my way the book. Because people will steal and will always find a way to spin narrative. Sabi about survival. Because never na brante na ya no crash as sabi onim nyansa. And na catch on because the explanation ya obai. And did not just all beka. Sa attach ya na kan yo say why na kan yo. And you manufacture this nonsense, push it to the media, and you want reasonable men of conviction in society to say why are there. No, so what is the motive behind this particular thing? Or beka when ya kasa there why are there na? Because you are not supposed to be financing political party within the operations of winning and Kahon. Again, are you supposed to finance your friends in Parliament? Parliament, who is Sika Mobia, why not the moment, and you want human as a for them. Sikana or the Kokoto estate in as a for them. I think that you see, this thing is absolute nonsense. Focusing in the Attorney General. So you see, there be a Ghana General Siciano. Adia ba kwa ma Ghana for to abati akufuado aye corruption. And Ghana need every single reasonable minded person out there is suspecting say the John Mahama government will be very radical, very vicious in dealing with some of these ruthless criminals. We don't care how you do it. Once you are within the remit of the law, you make sure that these criminals, these organized criminals, don't get away with their crime. It doesn't matter how they try to spend the narrative. In the coming days, they will be mentioning names specific, trying to accuse and implicate individuals. I don't care even if you give money to John Mahama. I don't care. Because anyway, you want to this movie. What I said. So how you wasted those monies in as a forum? The Ghana for you say this the surveillance equipment. Sure. In the end, you didn't buy.
Yeah.
You ended up using the money to buy private properties. And I wouldn't send him Santino. You did all these transactions using bank account, doing transfer. When you know say these transfer or always leave a back trace. Now say obia a crack to a primary school grab boss and no way. And this weak-minded person was the person mining. Friend said the whole intelligence organization. That tells you how porous this country is. If this weak-minded individual and are now in charge of the national security, it tells you the kind of national security that we had at the time. They are just exposing themselves, and I'll be very surprised if attaching as a person went through this thing and let it out. You see why recent time people are losing a lot of respect for so-called lawyers. Because you see, a lawyer is not about the degree on paper. It is about the clarity of thought, the reasoning acumen that you have, and how you are able to decipher things. Who said, "Near my way, as a where a reasonable men of society will not agree to this, they will impugn it, and once they impugn it, our integrity will become a casualty." If you are a lawyer and you don't look at some of these things and you think it's just political, we can just pen and throw this thing out there, I will see you for who you are, because when I see you next time, I will never respect you. You understand? But unfortunately, the Ghana and Kwane Castle will be school. Just also doing one dance. I just call them for certificate. But you can't be a learned or be a very intelligent. You don't need a certificate. When the person open their mouth and they're talking, you should be able to know, this guy is very smart, very intelligent. That is all that you go to you. Yes, I just certificate. We do one dance answer. And that's no. We have the Kobitina and nam. What are some American? We really need to be very serious in this country. Attorney General. When's the prosecution are dealing with Ghana for a channel form? That's not how ready they are. Say, abandon now issues of this nature, you toy with it. Now they don't go through with prosecution. Trust me. After 1 year, the government will get dirty. So they need to do everything to ensure that these criminals and several other criminals out there, we go after them. It's not just this one. Now, make sky training as a form. Attorney General should make sure that because these people getting them prosecuted is so easy. Because even how they conceive those stupid ideas now enough to land them in jail. For instance, yes, a sky train. Training the numbers as a cranny, and do more dama. Over as a board chairman, the pen and see papers. Oh, Matthias, among Kofa, the other number. Chroma trainer from crying Nibi. So that silly conception of an idea Nankasa is enough to land you in jail. And at the end of the day, they went ahead, pumped $2 million into an offshore account. But see that sky training your mind. Now who could jail will easy. You see, we need to begin to allow people to suffer for their crimes. For instance, now make about the National Cathedral. It's one thing that I buying a giant that I will never forgive them. Because we all saw from the beginning. Even young men in this country they don't hold PhD. They are not lawyers. They are not medical doctors. They could see from their house that this was a stupid initiative that the state was venturing into. We have a and India, in terms of technology, one rise to a point and America, most of the companies are outsourcing most of their jobs to them in terms of IT. And do for a bank, me person me who me bank balance in as for now you route to call to somebody in India. Or never more responses in as for because those jobs has been outsourced. Telecommunication companies in as for if you want clarity, they will route the call to other places because these people have become technologically savvy. People are taking advantage. So we are Maya. You train your people to take advantage of the digital economy. Yes, the Kosi Cathedral and Yamedia Boniach and Aumo Dama way, the 12th century and Fantina say. That's why I told you, say, Yakofa or your fans. We are living in a digital world, and Yakofa Nipa, 12th century, and the Mobabe Gum, and Mudin Semumay. And the cathedral, some by a software as a form of mobile, a bank kutupa, and 58 Makoshiagu. I'm who said, yes, yeah, auditing us. a single silly decision that was made. Me, it is all about Sikana Yasino. Even ideas now, if it is foolish, we need to find sanction people for that. And for me, that is what we need to do to set a stage. Say, so we are CEO, we are government, and as the or my baby shall inside.
Yeah.
You cannot be taking foolish decisions. Are those decisions, you know, our high stake implication on the fortunes of this country and get away because you are CEO? We need to make sure that we punish people for their crimes. So, Attorney General, there. Or somebody, I'm telling you, because if he doesn't go through with this prosecution, every will be Ghana. I'm telling you, because the heat that will be coming, or that regret is over here, your friend said. I'm telling you, because Ghanaians will never forgive him, and I know he will do. So I'm cautioning him, and I'm also urging him, say, he should go ahead. He should not lose focus. Some of these things coming up are absolute nonsense. Some of this nonsense being manufactured now be coming up, but he should be very careful, stay focused, and make sure a single person there our enough way on him will be prosecuted, because that is what Ghanaians want. They want the judiciary to be sanitized. They want criminals to go to jail just to send a message to people within this government. Say, also that is the fate awaiting you. You see, over the years, people sitting afar are coming to a conclusion that there is a certain collusion between both political parties to steal. That is the impression out there. So if you don't do that, then it will go to your friend saying, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. But we saw how these people stole with impunity, disrespected the people of this country. Make sure, say, even Ghana for more sika investment, these unwitting criminals cannot go scot-free. We need to make sure that we punish them for who they are, for what they have done for against this country. Going forward, you know, who say minor, because your minor fail to punish crimes. Or minor, so we state that there are two things you cannot do: show weakness, show mercy. The very moment you begin to do some of these things, you are done. Obia will take advantage. Oh, your Muhammad, your Betchay, oh, wait, dear, and Chroma say, Assembly now, software now, him for Nam, dance no Copacha. President, you can never come to me so a pacho. Because I don't have that jail. Oh, because Assembly and Semuna don't come to me. Now, you know whom and him cry, you will not even come. You will not even come. So, so we need to do that. South Korea, are you aware that I'm a president? The whole president. This is not the first time. Previous president because of Samsung way jail, and several other high-stake individuals in other jurisdictions have suffered for some decisions that they made. But Ghana, how people prison or you hear near or be contemporary or hear near or comedy now people are stealing with millions, and the same poor people in the name of emotion will come and they'll be singing praises for some of these criminals because we are a party for Nippon. We need to protect their state and some of these things. So some of these things, you know, a section of the media will be spinning it in a bid to justify for some that kind of false equivalence and so forth. But you see, no smart or witty mind out there will fall for this crap. Nonsense is nonsense that has been manufactured just to sway the focus. But I am urging the Attorney General to stay on his ground and make sure, say, he prosecute these people. The prosecution has started. He should not waver. He should go ahead and do it. Some of these nonsense will be coming about.
Because we run a letter now. The one can once a year. The transaction between Ghana Water Company Limited and the private account.
Yes.
Because the 1.3 million Ghana cedis every month. That is that is 1.3, right?
Oh yes.
Because 600,000 Ghana cedis, and there was a for every 2 weeks. To Kaboma, that's 1.3.
Yes.
Yes. And no, there one can once because I don't know. Now says Sikano kwa buying account.
Yes.
But or no just Sikana, no short check, no diverted their call in a private account.
Yes.
Services and also internet service. No, I are buying there.
Yes. And you see that you no appointee, even President Mahama Kra a new right to move state money to his private account for no reason, and nobody should be defending these things. I don't know why people are able to find energy and conviction to defend some of this nonsense. The mere fact that the gentleman cloned account and signatory to those accounts, account, that is criminal intent, can be established, and you will need to suffer for that. So where you transfer money to, say me make already now finance me, you cannot use that to wriggle out of the Nema wire. What I say na make say. The mere fact is that Nema na woyano were in direct contravention with established rules of engagement, bad books of the government, and then you have to be dealt with. Simple as that. Baby, as you cannot coin as if we can later do with it. But for me, some not kind of question because when I was here, say, with the Sikano Kutia Israeli company, so how come they never catch and say, what the financing way? Sikano move from an account to Todino Kamasem, where he was able to pay for those Sikano Kamasem. Nayere properties are only in her name or Kamasem. A gentleman Ben and all you come here, or to me, and yes, Sikano. That is why I make a choice. This lifestyle audit, we need to be very, 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 very way. Many property yeah. As people are in government today, we should put surveillance on every single individual. We are pushing money to properties they are buying, and their strategy. Most Ghanaian politicians say they will steal money, buy property, and they will put it in somebody's name.
Yeah, often it didn't. So
no.
So tracing it will even be difficult.
About 90% of Ghanaian politicians steal money, they buy properties, and they registered in relative or distant friend their name. So we say state, and that is why we have intelligence distance. Say state near ready to delve into some of these. Now you'll be able to find out and deal with them, and that is the best way. Some of these things for me, I won't fall for some of this nonsense.
All right, my make sure o message is one or two na femimra Ivan Sobak. Ebenezer Mokto wudin de em say e audition otabo ne ye ema wo say no krepa e na mo kano ya Tracy Bensa wo say until I see these criminals NPP going to jail, Joma Hama, you are not doing anything extraordinary. Yes. I swear.
Yes.
Conscious Agbenu Akwosu will say I trust innocent na Neniaje or say also the Kobit now guy no and Neniaje who do Tracy Emudia Hinam when Yabra Wisri. But I think said Tracy has some now what no a deep it will take a deep-minded person to understand, because Ghana make us Ghana for by a Troy no. Ora na na Ghana when you have to abandon. Then the two abandon na ora. Because you need some cophobia wiayen. Yes. And to say the innocent TK, ya chini pa sha say no obubodi we ka said the beya yet to say oh no kwa na ko onya ahio. Na wodi sika ni mani pa na adwen na 30 da wodi sai sika. One asoma asafa sika man obi. When the papa ma ka we o say the two ballem. And ade bi ma parliamentary select committee na ade bi ma hwan yo. To treat them intention unquampo ya criminal.
You see, I old playbook. Yeah. If you go back to Colombia.
Why am I and I'm Jimmy everybody, Mojimi everybody na aya kwamsi kwamsa na asem na yesi.
Enya na oko Colombia, Pablo Escobar days. Do you know what he was doing? Oton drugs, okuni pa ye bi onya sika ni wi na ochema hiafo. That was what he was doing, financing poor people. But it doesn't justify say
exactly the point.
It's an old playbook criminals have been using. El Chapo in the offense in Mexico. That's exactly what he's doing. They will sell drugs to destroy people, kill people. When you see kind of what you feel here, what you mean $1 million for Bobra. But does it justify that?
Not at all.
The money is a crime money. You understand? It does not justify. So the Attorney General needs to sit up. There are a lot of I know be framing. I say 120 days, whatever. They don't care about anything. All that they want to see is to see these criminals in jail. That is the only thing that matters to them. Until that is done, nothing is done. So yes, because we saw what happened in this country. Yeah, Nippon movie and send Komuyan for crank and now Benya Nipa Nimians no send Riao. Now sign Edina and nobody should dim class 7 Sancho. And that pain the Magana for these people must go to jail. All
right, John Kwaku Sabi was Ivan is a great guy. Joseph Dawumo say good morning big man. Yeah, that's say nyame inshallah. Obeti oba no wa follow no wa share na odo comment out to ase ni akenkai e dia ma me sure say demonstration ni dey di hu nkoma grofo match pass ya wo mukoyi. They say dia pie mu e ya sumbo no.
Yeah.
Aha, it say sumbo na ye case because video na ba ya nyina ye hu bi ne de AFENYO market de bob post ni nasum ba AFENYO market kata or tro ye nra me kan ye no wo say post ni no na di kan bo no no bo ne bo sa na afi na koma loko nyame nkwan collapse ye national service ni bi na bre ni nsuo na omde ne ko twere edan bi ho e na parliament clerk bi be fa no de ne ko da restroom enye san ko collapse nke beti no aye obituary ene esema wa twero bebre nti sa no ono police in the can born na because you say after asumbo no onya energy to aso koye de na obeye nti at one point no koda restroom at one point ye bre nsu anka wo collapse
oh yeah joker and make say you see AFENYO marking is a joker. You see, in some now, can he's rather exposing himself. So he's saying, the police officer and a born assume,
yeah,
and na come and kayati, and I find it in so cool, and the coy, and Oba, Onya, then back, no police officer. You see, some of these things, you see, you are not maybe not going to so in a political campaign platform, is now, because there will be unchecked fact. You obey me out for good
yeah.
The fact in this, we are talking about somebody who is a sitting MP, minority leader of parliament. You see a police officer in a uniform. You know the uniform symbolizes authority of the state. The person, you know, because of the uniform he wears, you know very well, say, what we remember, I don't want we are MP. What's now when someone assume in a video, the best thing you can do is to just apologize to the people. You don't just try to spin the narrative. And you see, that is the old playbook of the MPP. Maybe I sometimes I'm surprised people don't see these things. I don't want an issue. You see how they are spinning the narrative. It's the same thing. This thing has happened. There is a video circulating. I am very bad for his image and then as a forum. Yet he's trying to spin the narrative. And there are dogs within the media who fall for some of these things and they're also pushing it. The fact is that why would a sitting MP attack a police officer in a uniform? A police officer no say nya wona wo ye demonstration ka o ma ho.
Yes.
And now AFENYO marking is calling for equity.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the MPP as a political party are so patriotic to the sense that they care so much about Ghana democracy. Say Ghana for answering na NDC ni John Mahama say judiciary. Now me say since when? And omo sense of nationalism and patriotism no ebe wura since when? Kroma in the last 8 years, some president appointees in Kroma. They did not only threaten the foundation of our democracy, but endanger the very life of our people. We saw overriding tampering of our judiciary. Appointments, individuals are staffing not just the Supreme Court, now High Court, your friend is saying. The appeals court, individuals are you do see obiasem na wudi tie nipa kro wi na yaba abaso na atam na Supreme Court. Whole lot of nasty stuff happened in this country. At that time, no, AFENYO marking and co could not save our judiciary because it was okay for them. For me, as a young man watching these people from afar, I see said these are fancy jokers out there that nobody should take them serious because we've gotten now me can send me chiro has say now I'm on social media we said that video were trending. The funny aspect of it and now man for air share but the impact of the message the people are not getting me say generation we don't threaten people me MP and I said me say generation we know I say I'm on for a mouth social media now before no I say man what akra na man for you on be tell people why you have to be respected. Tell people why this thing is not good and they should not go there. Don't threaten people. Say say. No, that shouldn't be the import of the message. So why yes, I now we think say because you are just an MP and for that matter people respect you. You will end up in the gutters because people will see you for who you are. The mere fact is MP and yet the infantry and the power to attack a police officer in uniform, and instead of you to apologize, you are just trying to spin the narrative to make it look like the gentleman attack you. Your narrative doesn't even make sense. It defies logic, it defies reasoning and common sense. Because what's it Obama when you brew? And I found no call baby. And the Kodo now buy and also going to be an answer saying, does it even make sense in any way? So for me, I think that these people should be disregarded. Omono, Nana Mekacha said the MPP has now become a sinking enterprise. It's a party that is going down. Instead of them to elect reasonable men of conviction to bring the party back, you know, there are a lot of intelligent people in the MPP. And my catcher said, Obiti said, "Wacheja kone sa adenimo wine. These are men na utio monum kasa you could see say these are men of substance. These are people who should be leading the rehabilitation of the party, not an emotional stricken individuals who come, they open their mouth and they get people angry the more. MPP by oppositioning, Ghana for even getting more fed up and angry with the way and manner they are acting. Because they become so much combative. This is a party that was known to be a party of intellectuals. And Mahama Basie, Abadan station boys, Omo Kasao to cry out in China or Siafim. But the intellectuals no more party no more. All of them have been relegated to the background. And all of them have become insignificant in the affairs of the party. And they liberty quote unquote this bunch of emotional idiots and destroying the fortunes of the party. For me, I care about the MPP coming back as a strong political party to be the opposition we want them to do. You understand? But as long as they continue to allow these jokers, these attention seekers, to continue to dominate the news for bad reasons. Now, at the end of the day, no, the party will not get back. Thank you, Tom. Yeah. They've suspended it. It ended up in another big dog fight. Dog bite dog. Kennedy, yes, and dog bite dog. Exactly. Yeah. So this whole thing, you see how. So we are the panel party. You know, you should be worried. This is a party under Kufuor time. I high pay to be party of intellectuals and so forth. Now, taxi drivers from America and so forth. No cost on Bakuba. The catches are much at university. About university for corners. These jokers came into this country, they stole from the state, and now they've got him money talking nonsense on TV. Say, men are making way. You see, they need to come down from the high horses. Arrogance, me say, in this space, our politics, in this space, our governance. Yeah, do you know why people become arrogant when they get political power? Yeah, they be a funny inferiority complex. When you don't believe in yourself, you think that you have nothing to offer. Yeah. You need external to hang on to become relevant. And Nipano on their own, he knows that he cannot compete, he has nothing to convince you. So Osikadie and as any other material thing coming back to complement taking care of those things he's lacking. And becomes so much arrogant to the sense that he's not even ready to listen to you again. When people lack wisdom and intelligence, they don't want to engage you in argument. So what they do is they become very vocal and very frontal. And the one they can't say, he cannot survive. So I say, and the growing up, Uko school as a teacher anyway, Timo, no Sane, beneath it, and most of them. Because they have certain intellectual weakness. I don't even want students to get closer to expose them. It's the reason why when you will not even get close, they ward you off with that kind of behavior, that kind of aggression. And for me, the MPP, those Allah Nena Seform, Allah Minim say were giants or Baba and those other individuals, they need to take the center stage and rescue their party from these criminals and attention seekers. Because as long as the MPP continue to be in the hands of these jokers, trust me, the party will go nowhere. But the party needs to come back, regroup, and at least act as a reasonable opposition. Criticizing, and for me, tell me what moral authority does the MPP as a political party have at this time to be talking the way they are talking? But this is a party while wrecking the foundations of this country. They've destroyed this country. The economy of this country was on the downward spiral. And John Mahama within 4 months was a wine. Look at how the dollar has been able to stabilize. What besides how is able to do this? Senka Baumiane MPP pension and we see and can lectures are hold on more organizing with Krumano and Kenya the Ketua. But here we are once again.
Yeah.
People are not even talking about it. John Mahama is not even celebrating this particular feast, though. But it's a great achievement. What me here? And the city. So for me, I think that we need to stay focused. These people are ready to learn their lessons. Arrogance and no power. That kind of unwitty decisions no make at the time. No, it's the same. I'm fighting for any argument. Now I'm a Ghana Bar Association. Another group of people, they were just barking like dogs. They were not able to tell you what John Mahama has done wrong, and for that matter, no, that's all punish you be. But see, what will be at reasons. And you know, as you go back to what John Mahama has done. These are a crazy bunch of individuals because you see, the power to suspend or not to suspend Chief Justice, you know, the Constitution, the President, okay, Article 146 now was or say, see, it may establish a premier facility. Now say you set up a committee. The President has the power either to suspend or allow the Chief Justice. That is a discretionary injunction on the President, and only him alone. We are Ghana Bar Association now say on resign here. To me, say one case I said damn the whole team because you should know law. That's what I'm telling you. So as a lawmaker, as a lawyer, you should not be talking like somebody who make coffin. Because no, you want to say fundaka. But as a lawyer, if you are talking like somebody, sabi own him way, you know very well that particular President alone. So why will you interfere? He can decide to or not to. But to say you had no court because I exercise in just I said be a damn baby. That is why the association has become some kind of a political movement. So for me, I think that we need to focus and stick to the Ghana for who say a mind by be a Ghana for emotional gullible individual do anything and get away and become way relevant. And Ghana for demonstration almost as you know. You see how they were treated. Nobody took them serious. You understand? So for me, I think that we really need to stay on track and make sure that near Ghana for deserve the omo panel. That is what we do.
Nanisarpong Studio.